and good shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R. Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Coburn.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburn Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Hockey fans around 16 Mile Creek have waited 9 years to hear it. Your Oakville Blades, OJHL Buckland Cup champions.
Well, was it a possible preview of the Southeast Conference Final? The Pats and the Jayhawks faced off last weekend, and we've got all the highlights coming right up. This is the OJ Today. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. Mississauga head coach Joe Washkarak is going to join me later on in the show to talk about the strong start his Chargers are off to this year. Also, Ryan Teverberg was just listed to the NHL Players to Watch list for next year's draft, and we'll have a feature story on the junior Canadian sniper. But first, game highlights, and this may have been the most highly anticipated matchup of the young season so far. The Toronto Patriots, first place in the South, Trenton, number 1 in the East, tangling last Saturday in the Big Smoke, and the Pats served notice that they may just be the OJ's top dogs this season. OJ highlights now, brought to you by BioSteel. BioSteel, the official isotonic beverage of the OJHL. The Patriots were riding a 4-game win streak heading into this one, but it's the Hawks that hit first, dying seconds of the opening frame. Trenton on the power play, Colin Vandenherk, one-timer, and it's 1-0 for the visiting Golden Hawks. Second stanza was all Patriots, however. First, it's Peter Fleming, and he rips it past Oliver Troop, and that knots it up at 1 apiece. 2.5 minutes after that, it's Fleming once again just calmly picking his spot past Troop. Top shelf it goes, and the home squad takes its first lead of the game. Late in the second, Ryan Mansfield, as open as a prairie field. Nobody covers him out front. Bad mistake. In it goes, and the Pats were up 3-1 after 40 minutes of play. Final 20. They would add to it Cole Birch, oh baby, on a rope. Beauty pass Troop to make it a 4-1 advantage, and the squads would trade goals after that. Trenton, despite outshooting its host 49-29, comes out on the wrong end of a 5-2 final in Tirana. Milton taking on Georgetown in a West Division battle. Pink in the rink night in Georgetown it was, raising money for women's cancer research, and it was a great night all around, except for the final results, if you're a Raiders fan, that is. They hit first, though. Nolan Lowe dancing in, putting it home past the keeper. G-Town up 1-0. All game long, though. Milton got knocked down, but got up again. CJ Clark on the break, uses his teammate as a decoy, freezes the keeper, 5-hole, and the Menace knotted up at 1 apiece. Second frame, the Raiders retake the lead. Grant Spence has his first shot saved, but as they say, second time is a charm. Follows it up, pokes it past Garrett Boyanowski. 2-1 for the home squad. Again, though, Milton getting off the canvas. They get the Raiders scrambling on the break. First save is made, but Jordan Stock there to pounce on the rebound. Once again, they were all tied up. Garrett Boyanowski comes up with the stop of the game in the third period. Milton giving it away in their own zone. Justin Paul robbed by the keeper, though. You'll see that again in the plays of the week. Off to overtime.
Up the other way come the Menace. Rips Hughes down the wing. Hughes shoots. Saved by Bennett. Rebound. Wide open net. They score! Aiden Hughes, the game winner. Puts it into the wide open net. And the Menace defeat the Georgetown Raiders 3-2 in overtime.
Alan Corkum with the great call there. Stouffville headed east to take on Wellington, and it was all Spirit in the first. Dukes can't clear the puck. Jamie Mazomenos right on the doorstep slides it past Matt Dunsmore to make it 1-0. And then Connor May, this was some smart hockey, playing the long pass off the boards to himself. Wonder if Uncle Brad caught in that one. Very nice. 2-0 after 20. All and I mean all Wellington from that point on, though. 2:09 into the second, Frank Vitucci, soft hands to beat Damon Beaver, and that cuts it to 2-1. Just a $1.30 later, Daniel Pineda picks the pocket of Holden Doggett, who still doesn't know what hit him there. 2-2 after 40 minutes of play. Final frame, the Dukes pulled away. Jacob Vrudenhill just wants it more here. Turns on the Jets, beats Mr. Beaver. 3-2 Dukes. It's a lead they would not relinquish. 6 minutes later, Frank Vitucci leaves his stick on the ice. Smart move. Tips it home. And that would make it 4-2, and they would cruise the rest of the way as they take it by a 6-2 count over the visiting Stouffville Spirits. KOJ Commitments brought to you by Warrior, official hard goods supplier to the Ontario Junior Hockey League, and Ben Lorick, alternate captain for the St. Mike's Buzzers, has made his choices. He'll join Williams College for the 2021 season. The big 6'3" defenseman has been a rock for the Double Blue, and this season has even developed a scoring touch as well. 14 points in 17 games so far. Congrats, Ben, on your commitments. A reminder, the OJ All-Star Game is fast approaching. It takes place Saturday, November 30th at 16 Mile Arena in Oakville. It's a chance to see the past, present, and future of the league. There's an alumni game, a Young Guns contest featuring the OJ's top young players, and of course the big game itself at 3 p.m. OJHL.ca for more information. Tickets are just $5, so come out and enjoy some great hockey. This portion of the OJ Today is brought to you by Q-Collar, official safety partner of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Hey, welcome back to the OJ Today. You know, even if you're a fan of a different team, you've still got to feel just a bit sorry for the Whitby Fury and the Cobourg Cougars, two competitive squads that in any other division would likely be challenging for first place. Alas, they're stuck in that brutal East Division, which means they get to play powerhouses from Wellington and Trenton on the regular, which has significantly subtracted from their win total and added to their loss column. But for one night last weekend, they were able to simply stare each other down. The number 3 squad in the East taking on number 4 when they hit the ice in Whitby. Two teams who were separated by a single point at puck drop, and it's the Cougars who draw first blood here off a great rush by Mac Lowry. Doing all the work, cuts to the middle, and booyah. Beats Craig over the shoulder. Nice goal. Second frame, they would add to it. A.J. Ryan, the shot. Craig bobbles it, and in it goes. Cobourg up 2-zip. Whitby gets one back with the 2-man advantage. Nathan Porter, the Howitzer, making it 2-1. But then it's Lowry going back to work again. Nothing but daylight in front of him. Off to the races he goes. And it makes it look easy, sliding it past Craig as the green and white regain their 2-goal lead. Whitby refusing to die, though. Shot comes in from the point. Ethan Doyle, sweet little tip right there. And that pulls them to within 1 again. The Cougars would grab one more in the second, however, and then in the third, Craig serving it up on a platter from Michael Olszewski, who will be sending a nice thank you card, no doubt. The Cougars triumph in the Eastern Tilt as they extend their lead over Whitby in the race for third place. They were facing a whole different animal in the Patriots on Monday night, however. Leaders of the South Division, this was a crazy one. First stanza, Ryan Mansfield nearly does it all himself, but Lee Chang cleans up the rebound out front, and the Pats lead 1-0. 3 minutes later, Toronto scrambling in its own end, trying to get back. Stephen McDonald wraps it in. And the Cougars were on the board. It was all tied up 1-1. And then it was Cobourg with the man advantage. Nicholas Adomaterio, the seeing eye point shot. He makes it 2-1 for the home side. 6.5 later, however, Mansfield will find Peter Fleming, who will then find the back of the net. And once again, they were all knotted up. It was 2-2, but with just 4 seconds remaining in the first, Mac Lowry going hard to the net, and he's rewarded for his efforts. Gorgeous setup, gorgeous finish
3-2 after one. They would trade goals over the next two periods, so it was off to overtime where drama ensued. Pats on the attack. The net gets dislodged. The official says it was done on purpose. So, penalty shot. Oh man, Mateo Dixon for all the marbles, and check it out as he goes Peter Forsberg. Oh, gorgeous. But keeper Ethan Robinson adamant the puck never fully crossed the line. And take another look here as we slow it down. Tough to tell from this angle, but the official was right there on the goal line, so we'll defer to him on that one. The fans naturally didn't like the call, though, as the Pats escape with the extra point. They take it in overtime by a 5-4 count.
Well, the Brantford 99ers have just quietly gone about their business this year, and business has been good. The boys from the Telephone City shot out of the gate, and over their first 11 games only lost twice. So it was a true clash of the Titans when they faced off against West Division leading Oakville last Friday.
The 99ers were red hot heading into this game, but Oakville threw water on that fire. First period, Blades with some nice puck movement here, taking their time, and then Josh Belgrave, stick on the ice here, applies the tip, and it goes 1-0 for the home squad. Second stanza, all kinds of scrambling going on here. Brantford trying to clear, but just can't do it. Owen Lulk makes them pay. Blades up by a 2-0 count. And then it's Jack Ricketts with the sweet end-to-end rush. Ultimately runs out of real estate, but manages to feed it back for Harrison Israels, and he makes it 3-0 for the defending champs. Finally, though, Brantford breaks their goose egg late in the period. Eric DeDobler on the doorstep will slide it past Will Barber. That cuts the deficit to 2 goals. The Blades would add one more in the third, however, to seal the deal as they continue to cruise in the West, dropping Brantford by a 4-1 score. One more for you here, and it was a wild one. Aurora in Milton. We pick it up in the second. Chris Ishmael, sublime solo effort, and he makes it 5-5 at that point. And then 3 minutes later, Aiden Hughes feeds CJ Clark. He tickles the twine, and the Menace were up 6-5. Just a minute 10 later, though, Noah Min somehow gets this to go past Forbes Anderson. Just kind of slides it over the line. That tied it. It went to overtime.
Out on the back end for Milton. Here comes Young. Up ahead, shooting, scores! Balbosa ends it for Aurora in overtime.
Prashni Kwadi with the call there. OJ News and Notes brought to you by Scotiabank. Scotia, the official bank of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And the CJHL came out with their latest national rankings on October 21st. Brooks retaining the top spot, but 3 OJ teams now in the top 20, and the Patriots sliding into the top 10 at number 8, followed by the Dukes and the Oakville Blades. And a reminder, the CHCH OJHL Game of the Week returns for a second season. The debut broadcast will be at the All-Star Game in Oakville on November 30th, featuring Alex Bloomfield and myself. There you see, November 30th, 3 p.m. puck drop at 16 Mile Arena, live coast to coast on CH. And let's see the full allotment of games here. There are some good ones out of the 9 games this year. Georgetown and Oakville, the Battle of Halton Region. Pats at Wellington, January 18th. Circle that one on your calendar. St. Mike's Coburg, Markham at Trenton, and finishing off with Stouffville at Collingwood on February 22nd. Eddie Bush Arena is going to be absolutely jammed for that contest. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Troy Hockey. Troy, the official apparel provider to the OJHL.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the OJ Today, and so glad to be joined for the first time this season by Mississauga Chargers head coach Joe Washkarek, who's a busy guy. Joe, out on sales calls all day, but you were kind enough to pull over to the side of the road just to have this interview. We appreciate it.
No problem. I'm just in Highway 6 in the 401 in Guelph in a church parking lot, so I'll go in and say a couple. Well, I'll go in and say a couple prayers for our upcoming games this weekend, Bass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And we'll watch our language in the meantime as well. So
yeah, you might. Yeah.
Lightning bolts from the sky, right? So, listen, thanks for doing it. And what's been
you're welcome, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. An extremely competitive South Division that you guys are in thus far. You guys, you've had a good start though. You're right around that 500 mark. What have you liked about the way that the team has played so far this season?
Well, we just seem to be working hard. Like it is, like you said, it's a really tight division. There's some really good teams, and we have a lot of new guys, Alex, and we work hard in practice, and we've been a little inconsistent. That's why we're at 500. But I like our makeup, and we have a really good bunch of players, and they seem to enjoy each other. And we've beaten some good teams. We've also had some, the injury bug caught us early this year, and we have some good players out, and other guys have stepped up. So I think that's the best thing so far, that we're getting it from 23 guys right now.
Depth is showing. That's good. Matteo Pecchia, I kept calling him Pescia, but this one is Pecchia. Want to get it right. Leads the way for you offensively at this point. A guy you picked up from the North York Rangers last season in the Yeamans trade. In 38 games last year, 4 goals. He already doubled that amount in 17 contests for this campaign. Talk about how his game has evolved.
I think it starts just with him. I know he worked really hard during the summer. He's got some skills, and when we picked him up, he didn't have a lot of points for North York to start. He broke his wrist earlier in the year, and we thought that we had some potential, and he's definitely shown it. He's a great kid. He's a good leader, and his line mates. He's played with Kuzman. He's played with Luca Tells. We've moved a couple guys around when we had some injuries, so his line mates has helped him out. But more importantly, he just works hard in practice and in games, and he's being rewarded for that hard work.
Well, you mentioned Kuzman. He's someone who stands out for quite a few reasons.
He's a big man.
One thing, among the top scorers on your team, but secondly, he goes about 6'5", 220. The immovable object out there. Major junior experience. What has Kuzman brought to your squad? Another guy you brought over from North York.
Yeah, well, he brings some scoring. He's got a pro shot and the experience of playing in the. I think he played in Moncton in the Q, and he's a great kid. And we had a chance to get him over the summer, and we were after him for a while. We thought that we needed a big guy down the middle and a guy that can score. He's missed a couple games with injuries too. Even he got hurt in Trenton the other night. That didn't help us after the first period. But he's played well. He's physical too. He's laid out some really good hits for us. So I think he's close to point a game. But as I said the other night, he got hurt in the first period and didn't play the last 2, which hurt us a little bit. But we're really happy with his play, and I'm sure he's going to score a lot more here coming down the start. The next couple months here.
Right. Well, he's a vet. Perhaps it's fair to say though the guy your organization is most excited about is Matthew Sopp. Just 16 years old. Draft pick of the Kitchener Rangers, but he's gone the OJHL route this year anyway. Currently second in team scoring. Mighty impressive stuff for a 16-year-old rookie, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been extremely impressive. I know in midget last year, minor midget with Kitchener, he put up some numbers, and he actually played on our Oshawa Generals Carnivale team this year. So we saw him there, and I had some calls from Kitchener people. I used to work in the organization, and he was looking for a home. He travels back and forth from Kitchener, so that's a huge commitment for him and his dad. Yeah, absolutely. And he's played really well, and I think the Rangers have a really good, as much as I work for Oshawa and stuff, they do have a good player there, and another really good kid, hardworking kid, and we've been really happy with his play so far, Alex.
Excellent. Finally, the Pats have created a little bit of separation from the rest of the pack in the division. But for the most part, the parity striking throughout the South. And but really though, throughout the entire OJHL, isn't it? No team ever seems to be out of it. You guys have taken down Oakville already. Lindsay beat Trenton a couple weeks ago. You've been around the league for a long time though, Joe. Is it a battle for points every night now, more than at any other season that you've ever seen?
Yeah, I think so. And I've talked with other coaches before games, and we played the Patriots on Monday, and the score was a little bit flattering. They have a very good team there, well coached, and we beat a very good team in Oakville, and Oakville beat Coburg, who has a good team, in Brantford, and North York Rangers has only had who's rebuilding from last year, beat Brantford yesterday, and Brantford has a really good team. They beat us at the showcase handily. So it just seems like if you're not ready to play, Alex, anybody on any night now, I really think can beat anybody. I'm a real believer in that, and so you got to be on your toes every game. It's going to be a really tough 39, 40 games or whatever we have left for every team. It's going to be difficult every night.
Well, even a team, just in that vein, even a team like Milton, the Menace in their very first year, slow start, great crowds. I love the story there.
Yeah, absolutely. They've done an awesome job there.
Slow start to the season, but they've started to pick it up. They've won a few in a row now. They just beat Georgetown on Saturday. Impressive to see what they've been able to do. And again, it's just like what you're talking about. From bottom to top, it's just strong all throughout this year, isn't it?
It is. And Georgetown has a really good team, and I think Burlington's kind of separated themselves a little bit, Alex. I think, I'm not sure their record because they're not in our division, but they're right up there, and Oakville. But yeah, Milton's, they picked up a couple guys. CJ Clark, I think, off the Steelheads has helped them and made a couple moves, and Del Monte took over, and sometimes a coaching change does help your team a little bit, and obviously it has there. And but yeah, it's tough. Collingwood's did an unreal job with their team, and every night it is a real battle, Alex. There's no question about it, and I expect it to get tighter as the games go on and get towards our playoffs here.
And speaking of playoffs, I'm again just hoping to, who, I'm not going to say it since you're in the church parking lot, that you're not back for the playoff preview. You're so good at it, but it's time for you guys to make the playoffs. So listen, anyway, all kidding aside, thank you so much for joining me.
I agree.
You and we'll be chatting later on. Thanks, Joe. We'll chat later.
Yep. Have a great day. Thanks a lot for your time, Alex.
More OJ Today coming up in just a moment. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Scotiabank. Scotiabank, the official bank of the OJHL. Hey everyone, welcome back to the OJ Today. There must be something in the water at the Scotiabank pond these days. The Toronto Junior Canadiens have been pumping out an impressive array of NHL prospects. 2 seasons ago, it was Jack McBain. Last year, Eric Ciccolini. And this season, continuing the tradition of JRC excellence, rookie Ryan Teverberg, who was just listed as a player to watch by NHL Central Scouting for next year's draft. Here's more on the young sniper.
Still down. Zrudny can't get the shot away. Redding with it. O'Brien up ahead. Ryan Teverberg coming in. Oh, what a goal! Ryan Teverberg scores!
Just another day at the office for Ryan Teverberg. The budding superstar is currently leading the Toronto Junior Canadiens in scoring despite being only 17 years old. He's one reason for the early season success of the JRCs, and he's left players and coaches alike impressed.
So Bergie is the nickname we got for him in the locker room. I've been fortunate enough to play with him for the most part of this year, me, him, and Matt Redding. And from his game, the first thing that stands out is that speed. Exceptional skater, and he might not be the biggest guy on the ice, but the way he can protect the puck, it's as though he's a power forward. And then you let that kid in on a breakaway or in tight, and the hands go to work.
The thing that jumps out at you most, obviously, when you watch him is the combination of speed and power. And what he brings as such a young player in the league. Guys like that are few and far between that come through the league that play with such speed and power at that age. And again, he just plays with he's just relentless in nature about how he does things. And again, day in, day out, he's the same guy every single day. And the consistency is another thing that would be uncharacteristic for a guy that age.
No, I guess I didn't expect my season to go this well so far, but I've been playing with great guys. They've just been helping me along the way. They've just been feeding me pucks, just been helping me scoring, just helping me around because they're just teammates, and playing with Obi and Redding, they're just great players. They just know what to do. They can find me really easy, and they can make plays with it as well.
Teverberg is the latest NHL prospect to come out of the Junior Canadiens pipeline. 2 years ago, Jack McBain was drafted by the Minnesota Wild. Last season, Eric Ciccolini was selected by the New York Rangers. Teverberg had the option of going to the Ontario Hockey League this year, but elected to stay with the organization he's grown up with.
Yeah, I was drafted by Hamilton in the 12th round, but Junior Canadiens, I've been with them for, this will be my 9th year, so obviously I'm very familiar and comfortable with them, so it's just a great organization. I just chose to stay with it because it's just family to me now. Staying JRC and the OJ is just it keeps my eligibility open for the NCAA, so that's a huge part because that's something I want to do. And yeah, talking to schools and stuff, soon choose one. That's a possibility that I'm gonna have to go through.
Teverberg patterns his game after another OJHL grad who's now plying his trade just down the road at Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah, I guess recently I've tried to pattern my game after Marner. because he just shows a lot of skill in the game, and he can bring a lot to the table. He's got great hands. He can do lots of things with the puck. He's very creative, and that's sort of like what I'm trying to do here.
Ryan was recently named to NHL Central Scouting's Players to Watch list for next year's draft. However, showing poise well beyond his years, he's not getting caught up in the draft hype. Instead, he's focused on the here and now.
Yeah, being listed on the NHL Central Scouting, that was a huge accomplishment, but like, I try and think about that less because like, I'm thinking about the team success right now and like how our team should be better and like more like championship wise for our team and just getting better all together.
Oh, what a goal! Ryan Zetterberg scores!
And before we go, let's take a look at the OJ standings brought to you by Jostens, the official ring and awards provider to the OJHL. In the West, Oakville, slim lead over the Burlington Cougars, followed by Georgetown, Brantford, Buffalo, and the Milton Menace. In the North, Collingwood, 2-point bulge over Markham, followed by Stouffville, Pickering, and Aurora. 3 wins on the season, now playing much better. In the South, the Patriots, 5-point cushion over the JRCs, followed by St. Mike's, Mississauga, Brampton, and the North York Rangers in 6th. And in the East, Wellington, Trenton. That is going to be a dogfight all season, followed by the Fury, the Cougars, and the Lindsay Muskies. 3 wins on the season, 5th place. Top 5 brought to you by Cliff Bar. Cliff Bar, the official energy bar of the OJHL. Number 5, the Patriots. Cole Birch on fire, wiring it top shelf against Trenton. Part of that big Pats win. Number 4, Coburg's Mac Lowry had a wicked game against the Fury last weekend, and great solo effort here. Cuts to the middle, goes upstairs, past Will Craig. Number 3, another great solo effort. Wellington's Jake Vrudenhill turning on the Jets, finishing in style against Damon Beaver. Number 2, Milton's Garrett Boyanovsky against Georgetown. Call the cops. Justin Paul just got robbed. Insane stop by the Menace keeper. And number 1, Mateo Dixon going full Forsberg on Ethan Robinson. Just gets it over the line. Robinson didn't think it was, but that was the call. The move, too sweet to ignore either way. That's our Cliff Bar play of the week.
And that's all the time we've got for this week. But just remember, you can always keep up to date with the league by heading to ojhl.ca. And of course, all of your social media options are right there for you to explore as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.